Hello. There's stuff going on. Sorry I'm a little later than I said I would be. I had like a lot of technical difficulties and was freaking out about it, but like it's fine. Also, Mr. Ash is here. He's just under the table. He may come back if he wants. I could just grab him. Hey, Mr. Ash. Why don't you come over here? Child. Here. Come here. Yes. Oh, up. Upsy daisy. There you go. Yes, this is my dog Ash. He is oh so sweet. Captions aren't showing up. Sure that those are working. Was working before. Everything was working before, you know what I mean? How about now? Time? Enable. How about now? I swear to God. This is so frustrating. But you know, we'll figure it out. Nobody's here yet, so I just wish. I wish many things. I wish many, many things. I wish so many. My God. Why does it not want to work? Work so hard to get the captions to work. As long as I'm not perceived yet, nobody will know that I'm an idiot. Not gaming. Do they work in there? They do not work in there. Oh. I have now been perceived. Hi, Sploot. I am attempting to get my captions to work. It's not cooperating. I'm trying to decide if I care and if I am going to try to fix it. I have been attempting to fix it and it has not been working. I don't know why the captions are off. I wish they wouldn't be off. I wish so much they wouldn't be. I beg. These I beg. These work. No, you know what? Whatever. That's officially a whatever. Okay, whatever. Alright. That will be fixed. It worked during the other one. During the unofficial stream I did. I'll fix it later. Okay, so today we are going to make also hello, Mr. Ash. Today we're gonna make a full-size figure of the WireMouse character. This is Reb's drawing, and it is going to not have these exact same proportions. Because this one is kind of squat, and like I like them squirt, but we're gonna have the same proportions as a normal full character of mine, which means that they're gonna have articulated fingers, and like kind of normal proportions. So let's get started with making the skeleton. What I do for this is I use this wire. I have two different kinds of wire. Get out of there, buddy. I have this thinner wire, and I have this thicker wire. And this is pretty much only for fingers. Which is why, since I started, I have had this exact one, and this is like my third one of these. Alright. What I end up doing is you don't want to make like a head shape because you just want something for it to grab onto. You don't need to like it's essentially like bones. So like consider this to be like an extension of the spine. So we're gonna make kind of a long, elongated head. It always makes me think of the Enigma of Amigara Fault, where they turn into weird little creatures. Still got a little bit smaller. This head is not. I end up making the heads big anyway, so like, who gives a shit? I was looking at my very first full-size doll that I made, which is of Apollo Justice, who's the inspiration for my avatar's outfit. Haha, who could have thought? And also, let me know if like the music is too loud or too quiet. I think it's good, but just let me know. But yeah, I was looking at the Apollo one, and not only do the hands look like garbage, but the head's so tiny. He's got a tiny little head. I'm like, oh no, buddy. Okay, so this guide is here just so that I get the proportions right. I also put the, if you can see, we're going to add fingers later, so we don't want to have how long the fingers are going to be down here. Don't hear the music. Okay. It's turn it up a little bit. Like that. There it is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just have it turned down like really low on my end. And I think that was like compounding to make it really quiet. Okay. So we want to have this, and essentially because we are making like this part of the hand, and then we're going to add the fingers onto it later. So we want this to just be essentially up to the knuckles of a hand. Maybe not that far up. Got it. A little lower. These things are difficult. Oh. Whoa! The first one ever. Technically, there was a test stream before, on like Tuesday, and I was like, oh, I'll just test it to see what's going on. And then like Renee rated me, and I'm like, oh shit, I've been perceived. So it turned out to be a thing. Captions are not working. Hooper, I decided to not finish him off stream. I'll show you what he's looking like. All right, yeah, you were there for that. So during the test stream, we made a Hooper. I just put like the rest of his materials in there. So he's got like his base. We'll finish him later. I've decided that I'm not going to do a wire skeleton for his little gills. Because that would be like way too much effort. I'm going to do sort of a flat felt thing and cut it out and put it there. Because the thing about felting, especially for selling them, is you need to keep in mind how much work you're doing versus how much it's going to sell for. So you want to cut down on unnecessary work, so that you don't drive the price up. And something that's difficult to get right is making the hands and the legs even to start with. I've found that I get in trouble if I'm just like, it's fine, I'll fix it later. But then when you do that, it's like, this arm is longer than this one. And yeah, I can kind of eyeball it. Sometimes I get out the ruler. That looks about right. This all has to be one piece because it has to be like solid and move all together. Yeah, armature. I guess armature is the right word rather than skeleton. This isn't like exactly doesn't follow the exact armature, but it's there because that's how I like draw faces. I used to do a lot of drawing. I don't quite as much anymore, but I have been starting again. So like, this avatar was made by Viz a guy, but I like did the editing on it to make it move. And then I also, oh right, because they have heels. So you gotta keep this in mind. But like the follow alerts and emotes and stuff, which, you know, I don't have emotes yet, but one day, those are like physical watercolor paintings that I made. Because I'm like Garbo at Photoshop. Yeah, if your character has heels, you have to make their feet shaped like heels. So that they have something to stand on, so that the skeleton has something to stand on. It's like they have Barbie feet. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be... Okay, this is what... Only done heels, I think, once before, for the Dorothea doll. I've only done bare feet once before, and that was for the princess from Slay the Princess that I gave to Nicole. That one never got sold. That was a special present for her. Actually, quite a few streamers that I like have like pretty early felts of mine, because I was like practicing by doing that and giving it to them. So like Barry has two different ones, and there's a Bath one, there's a Reb one, and a Melvin. Even Fen has one. Hi, Hollis. And Nicole has one of her normal avatar, and then one that's better because I was kind of like embarrassed by that other one. That is of her. Begin to heels. Yes, I apologize for captions not working today. I'll figure it out later, but like I had a full half hour of like panicking technical difficulties. That was mostly fixed by me resetting my computer, so. Yeah. Just turn it off and on again, it's fine. Alright, also, not to forget, this character has I haven't made a full-size figure in a while. Long-ass legs. You long, bitch. Alright. Out of the way. They end up T-posing a lot. We want to make sure we have the tail. Everything needs to be in there that you want to be able to, like, move. Darn, my docs are not as broken as I thought. And we're not going to finish this today because this project is probably going to take somewhere in the realm of like 7 to 8 hours. It's also good to not have a like end here because these like to poke out. So if you that kind of thing, then yeah, okay. Have the armature. Yeah, probably what we'll finish today is the armature, the base, like with the core wool, and then like the hands. Planning to go for like 3 or 4 hours or so. Alright. We are going to add the fingers later. Because the way that I do it, I like shove the end of the wire into the wool. Right. Put on our finger protectors. This is so that you don't stab yourself as much. And I'm left-handed, so the reason that they're on this hand is because it's going into here, you know? Here we have... This is essentially polyfill for plushies, pillows, that sort of thing that you can get at a craft store. It's specifically one for Michael's, and we are using that instead of real wool because it's denser and it holds its shape better. I always start with the torso. That's that for now. I also got, like, there's a whole shit ton of it here. It's more than I need for sure. Yes, Lefty. And you want to sort of like hold it down. I forgot how much tails get in the way. Wings get in the way a hell of a lot too. I made a Charizard for a commission relatively recently, by which I mean like in December. And that was the world's biggest pain in the ass. It's got yeah. Oh, do you? That's right. Have you felt it before, Hollis? I think you mentioned that. Yeah, they do kind of hurt though, because they're notched. They're you can't really see it, but like they have little notches in them to catch the fibers so that they felt together, like Velcro kinda. Long time back. You should do it again. It's fun. So we're going kind of over the shoulders and around the hips. We're not adding a whole lot of shape right now. This character's like relatively like doesn't really have boobs, but they do have hips. But if we were going to do boobs or like a tummy, we would add that sort of after we've added this structural component. Start off being really thin, but I've made quite a few characters like with tummies. Those are fun to make, honestly. I should tell Laz that they can rug tool. We have rug hooking, so trying to do this with one hand is a bad idea. Just use your phone. It's being used as a camera. Okay. Yeah, so where I grew up, there's a big, there's like a historical museum, historical village kind of thing. And they have a bunch of events and stuff. And one of them is the rug hooking event. And so the joke that everybody's said for a million years is, oh, the hookers are coming to town. It's all a bunch of old ladies. Also, like, have not made a full-size figure in a hot minute, so. A tufting gun? I want a tufting gun. There are, like, felting guns. They're like 3D printed. And I've seen people use them before. I haven't felt a need for them. They tend to be for if you make larger stuff. Or make, like, a very large volume. Like, here. Yeah, swingers. Yep. No, that's what you gotta do. Alright. On your tail. Little butt. That's going to have more structure. You do want to get the, like, the shapes right in this step. Could link the last drug. I'm probably not going to attempt to show it on stream just because I'm, like, so new to streaming that I don't know if I can... I know, in theory, how to add a browser source. But yeah, you can absolutely link it. I will look at it, and people can look at it. My butt shouldn't time you out or anything. Oh yeah, if you were here for the test stream, I made Nightbot calm down a little bit. Buddy, you have one ass cheek. You need to get another one. Yes, physic. I also, like, very much do not need to be adding the ass now, but we're gonna do it. Okay? Hell yeah! Hell yeah, gamer! Non-binary possum skateboard. That rips. Oh wait, that's just been calling me the whole fucking time. I'm such a dumbass. Hi. I'm gonna turn you up. I don't know if people can hear you or not.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's me. The only artsylazuli.
Can you hear Les?
Can you hear me? Oh, I can hear me.
You can hear you? You should be. Yeah, you should be showing up.
I turned on your stream and I heard myself and immediately cringed.
I like your voice. I'm currently adding an ass to a doll, so you showed up at the perfect time.
Hey, because I'm tired.
Maybe a little loud relative to voices. Music may be loud. Okay, music may be loud. Turn music down. Music down. As up. I don't know why I had it at... You should just be at full volume. You shouldn't be at, like, baby volume.
Haha. It's because I'm so loud.
No, it's because I don't know what I'm doing.
During Monster of the Week, when I go into those Byakuya screams, man, I can't help it.
Right. Do those levels seem alright to people? I understand. I understand now what streamers go through. This is a balancing act.
You get it now.
I get it. Now I understand. Yeah, it's a pretty good ass. Alright.
Yeah.
Sound is a very special how
Sound is a very special hell.
Howdy, Meister.
Hey
Alice just
Meister,
woke
hey
up.
Hollis, hey Sploot.
I got started
Yeah,
half
it's
an
the
hour
start
later
of
than
next.
yeah. I got started half an hour later than I wanted to because I had like a bazillion technical difficulties. Who's the other person? That is Lazuli.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me real quick go to boop. Now I'm recognizable, I think.
Oh, I mean that'll work. Whatever you want to do.
Ah.
I know you can put like names on or I could say like with, I don't know. I'm trying to minimize the amount of plates that I'm spinning.
I couldn't
It wasn't in the
entirely
title or
recognize
pin. No,
your voice.
because again, I don't know what I'm doing. um Let's see if I can.
If you make me a mod, then I can make like a pinned comment. I don't need to be, but
I don't. Hang on.
I could try to like
You
help
can
you out.
absolutely be a mod. When I how do I fucking do that?
Oh, hold on. Actually, let me send a message, and then I believe you just click on my name. Wah, wah, wah,
And
wah. And then you click on my name, and then you just give me a sword. This big
okay.
shake. A little rat!
Fucking
I am
help.
always.
Warren, timeout, ban. I don't want to do that.
Ban me.
Manage
That is.
suspicious user.
I'm suspicious.
You're so suspicious.
I'm so suspicious.
Permit, timeouts. How do I fucking mod you?
It might be permit. There might be just like
I'm such a fucking.
slash.
I'm such a dumbass.
Is it slash mod? I don't know. Ah shit. I kind of forget myself.
Hey.
It's been a while since I've modded anybody.
We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Oh, Cammy gave me a shout out. Oh, that's so sweet.
Aww. We love Cammy.
Permissions. I don't know. Again, okay.
This doesn't have to be done right now.
This stream is going to be scuffed. It's going to be scuffed, and it's really okay.
That's always the first streams are always scuffed.
It's
the later streams are always scuffed.
Chat's working, captions aren't working, but chat's working, Discord's working. Things seem to be like okay.
Yeah.
Things that don't need to be done right now are not going to be done right now, and that's okay.
Yeah. Actually, since I do forget, I'm just gonna real quick go to my chat function. I'm gonna mod somebody real quick.
If you feel like looking it up.
Yeah, hold on. Okay.
You can see what you're doing. Yes, Ash is here, and that's the most important part. You can't see him face. Let's camera a little bit. Now you can see him face. Hello, my sweet child. Love you so dearly. Right. I know. Hi.
I'm gonna mod somebody in my chat real quick. Oh
yeah, Drawfee is the scuffiest of scuffs, and they've got like 1,000 viewers for streams.
Yeah. Is it slash? Okay, slash mod insert username. That's how you do it.
Oh really? Do you just do it in the chat? No.
Yeah.
Go back. Fine.
Here, Mouse, you're a mod on my channel now.
Yay. Alright.
You This does mean you've lost your
Oh
VIP status,
no!
but you've gained a sword.
Great. There you go, buddy. Now you're a mod.
Let's fucking go.
All right. And I just about bet that if I closed and reopened OBS, that captions would work. But we're not going to worry about that right now.
Knighted.
Now, yeah, it's also the first time I've been a mod ever. Well, on Twitch. I used to be like I used to run a Discord, like a pretty big one. I was like the interim like top mod of a pretty big Discord. But that was one entire lifetime ago.
Was that? I know at one point you did like a lot of journalism work.
That was even before that. This was have you ever heard of an anime called Katekyo Hitman Reborn?
No.
No, because it never released in America and it's old. It's fun, it's a good show. Um but a friend of mine from the uh fairy tale subreddit, um it's so old that this started as Skype and ended up being a Discord chat later. Ow! Fuck.
Let's fucking go. Are you alright?
Yeah, I just stabbed myself, as you do.
Hell yeah.
To make the neck thin.
When the stabby is needle.
Yep. This, you know, it prevents some of it, but... Also sorry that you had literally been calling me for, like, 10 solid minutes. I didn't realize that it, like, wouldn't show up for me.
Oh, no, I was only there for like a minute, I think. So, no, don't worry. It's so cool.
Sex-based terms allow added permitted term feel my bones. Dear God. Not a sex-based term, Automod. So, they are going to have more shoulders than this. Fucking hey, girl!
Hey, girl.
Wanna feel some bones later? Great.
Hey, girl. You wanna go feel some bones?
Feel some bones? Waggle eyebrows?
Waggles eyebrows. Oh, dear.
Like, I do eventually want to get more expressions. And a blink,
Yeah.
perhaps for my VTuber. I was working off of not the Photoshop file. I was working off of the finished file. So there's a lot of like erasing and adding in little pixels and like trying to make it work. Eyedropper and stuff. It's
I
some
think you did
MS
a
Paint
good
bullshit.
job.
Sorry,
Yeah. I think you did a good job.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Considering.
I worked really hard on making it look good, but it is absolutely like dumb as shit under the hood.
Yeah, that's like my original like PNG tuber. I don't know if anybody remembers Laz 1.0, but like Laz 1.0 was just like kind of rough when you like took apart everything. And then now I have Laz 2.0, but Laz 2.0 was professionally made.
I like all of your art. I think it's great.
No, all of like I like my art now. But like a lot of my older art, and especially art that like had to move, like my PNG tuber, had its quirks.
Like that's okay though.
It's okay. No, I look back on it fondly because it's like I had to grow from that. Um, but at the same time, it's like I definitely kind of like art-wise, I like where I am now a lot more.
Yeah, I think you're making like a lot of improvements really quickly.
Thank you.
To so the thing about felting is that it's like sculpting and you can just adjust things. So right now the neck is way too long. Um, but we're just gonna kind of shove that down. I have low-key been hollering about your growth as an artist. I've been high-key hollering about it every chance I get.
Damn.
Damn, the
I
effects though.
damn. I will say, like, Monster of the Week, I know I don't have to make art for Monster of the Week sessions, but
But it's
like
nice and I'm
even
happy for it.
yeah, even if like Monster of the Week art is shitty, I do still enjoy making it because it is just like, all right, I just have set aside some time to practice.
Hmm.
um,
That feels like me with like because I haven't done sort of regular art in a really long time, but I
yeah.
got into doing um the like physical watercolor art for essentially like making this channel.
Oh
Um
yeah, it looks so
and
good.
it's really fun and like I used to do a lot of physical art and I'm, you know, what's a layer mask mouse, so I can't fucking do digital art to save my life, but um I've learned all of these things once and then forgore all of them.
Yeah.
Um, hey buddy, your head's looking a little strange. That's okay. I'm gonna make it work. We need a human shaped head. Because I think the most recent stuff that I've made was the pure vanilla cookie, which is supposed to look kind of flat. Um,
Yeah. Who is this guy?
this is my character. Um,
Oh fuck
they're
yeah.
going to be less squirt than this. I really love Reb's squirt version of it. This is also my Chrome background, by the way. Um,
Oh, that fucking rules. Oh, I love this art.
yeah, isn't it great? I guess it
It's
like I
so
see it a lot because
great.
I use it as my Chrome start page, but like, um,
Yeah.
Reb made it last summer.
No,
Um,
that rules. It goes so hard.
one of my first commissions. So
Yeah.
fucking cute. I still don't know what I'm gonna do for this because this chain is based on an actual chain that I have, um, which is like
Mm.
plastic and pastel and cute. And I'm like, how do I get a like a mini approximation of that? And I'm gonna dig through my
Mm.
like apothecary chest of craft supplies that I have, um, and see if I can dig out some beads. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to find beads that work. I went to yesterday. I went to a Joann's that it was shutting down, and couldn't find exactly what I wanted. Um, how are we feeling about this head here? You don't have to do the because the nose, at least for me, the nose gets added on later, so you don't need to worry about that. But you do want it to look right from the side. From the front looks good. The back looks like it needs more. Um, it's definitely the little chain is not going to look exactly the same. But if I can find something in that like pastel color family, that would be good.
Mm.
Or I actually have a little friendship bracelet that I made. That's the um colors of the bisexual and non-binary flags, and I could like that isn't the same as what this is, but like it would be thematically
I
appropriate.
mean, I feel like that would be pretty appropriate, and at the same time, that's adorable.
So I have a friendship bracelet because um I have a big family reunion every like August and they do themes and last year's theme was Taylor Swift for some reason. Yeah, the chain, it's just gonna be like on a little line. It'll be fine, and I can use I have like fishing line that I've used for a bunch of stuff in the past, and I can just thread it through the doll, because that's what I do for like whiskers for cats.
Yeah.
Yes, that head looks good enough for now. You kind of want to have enough of the back for it to look like an accurate skull. Taylor Swift, I hate fast fashion. Yeah, me too. But I guess one of her. No, I get it. I'm just choosing not to acknowledge it.
No, yeah.
I am. I like bad puns. I don't tend to give people the reaction they want to bad puns.
I am the exact audience that Hollis is looking for, I think, because and Sploot, yeah, I am feeding the wolf, is the thing.
I'll just be like, good job. You want a sticker? Good job.
Oh, man.
Looks about right. Like a little alien head. Neck looks about the right length. Okay, so we're gonna start on
Just giggling like a little bitch.
like
I love it.
Sorry that Mr. Ash is not in sight. Where'd he go? He's under the table. He'll come back.
I mean, we get to look at the absence of Ash, and doesn't that make the heart long further?
Mr. Ashy, come back! Come back! Come over here! Mr. Baby! Come over here! I love you so dearly! Plebes! There you go!
Hi, Ash.
He doesn't know he's on camera. He doesn't know that that's where he's required to be. Want to be closer to me? You can be closer to me if you want. I can pet you. I can pet you.
Puppy. Looks over. Where is my animal?
Cricket. Where's Cricket?
Actually, where is her submission?
Ash non Banui.
Okay, she's under a pile of blankets. I found a cricket-shaped lump.
Does Cricket like to hide under the covers?
Not fully. She likes to leave she won't fully get under the covers because if her nose is underneath, it freaks her out. But she likes to bury most of herself. Sometimes she loves to get into dark spaces. So she'll hide under my bed, or she'll hide behind doors. Or she'll hide behind if the blankets are in a giant pile, she will hide behind the pile and just be like,
this is my lair.
Cricket she's a sneaky little guy. She is a bug cat.
A bug cat?
She is a bug. Yeah, she's a bug.
Tuck in and imperil himself. Ash likes to hide literally under the covers, to the point where I don't know how he can breathe. He's in there so long. If I'm not there to put him under the covers, he will attempt to get under there himself, and there are many pictures of just his little butt sticking out. Like, mother, you cannot find me here.
He's so stealthy.
You're so stealthy, my child. Also, my my two count them two ideas for channel point redeems are pet Ash and ask Ash a question. And I will ask him,
Oh,
and he will respond in his voice that I use for him. And if everybody hates the voice, then I won't do that anymore, but I think it's funny.
I mean, I think your Ash voice is funny, so
Says, hello,
I
mommy. If you ask me a question, I will tell you the answer, for I am perfect in every way.
he's like a silly old man.
He's Russian French. I don't know.
He's ranch.
He's ranch. It's a
He's ranch.
corruption of the Sermet's voice from Jenna Marbles. So yeah, here we're making the arms, and they don't need to be quite as perfect. Okay, fine. If you don't want to be up there, you don't have to be up there. I'm sorry. What can I put there? I know what I can put there. 1 second.
We see you have like a stuffed dog. I they have something, guys. It's something exciting.
Possibly too small to see, but this is one of the emotes that I made.
Yo!
So we'll just put him there for now.
That's so fucking funny. He's there.
See, the thing about making actual watercolors is that you just have them now.
Yeah.
So I do just have them all in like a folder.
You have the real life emotes.
I do.
You can pull them out of your wallet in real life.
Opens my wallet to show pictures of my kids. It's just watercolor emotes of my dog.
Oh my God. Okay, so without spoiling what I'm drawing, I decided to start painting for
Nice.
I had a lot of time
Digitally painting
for
or physically painting?
digitally painting.
Nice.
I have a lot of the next session of Monster of the Week is already done because it's pretty much the conclusion of the next arc.
Okay.
Which I mean, look, like we're all aware of that. Like the story for this arc is kind of coming to a head, and like,
In a weird way, but it is working. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly not the way I think we all expected it to go, but I really like how it's all kind of ended up going, and like, honestly, this has been a really great arc, that I have really enjoyed, and I had a lot of extra time because a lot of it is already written, so I was just like, okay, well, with that, I'm just gonna go super fucking hard on one art piece. And so I've decided to paint something.
Nice. We'll flatter. Okay, we are going to be adding the fingers now for this hand. Should I have done this differently? Because I decided to like add the meat of the palm of the hand first, which I don't usually do.
Yeah.
Hoping I can get the thumb.
Yeah.
There, and it's okay. Not really. Okay. Well, that's why. I could just shove this down. Yeah, okay. I don't have to pull it all the way off. I can.
How, like, on a scale of like the easiest, hardest part of the model, like, where do hands and fingers kind of lie for you?
They're the hardest. They're the hardest by
They're
a long
the hard.
shot.
Gotcha. awesome.
It's
It's the same no matter what medium you go to.
Yep. So I do just kind of like, yeah, like sort of shove the end of this in here, and I'm going to probably will just that going to make this hand. I
Hands are
don't
favorite.
know. I don't know
I'm
what I'm doing.
freak. You are a freak / positive.
Yeah, if there's any freak / positives, I would. That's everybody in this community. It's like that's not even just Hollis. Okay. This making the meat hand first thing out, so we are going to that. Oh, skizzers. Yeah. The only problem with using like core wool like this, or really any like thing that's been felted down pretty far already, is that it's difficult to get rid of it. It's like pretty thick. We'll just work it off of there. Right, I am bleeding a little bit. Not a lot, but
Oh dear.
my sewing instructor, when I learned to sew, I took like community classes. I lived in Boston. She was like some degree of Eastern European. And she was like, if you're going to bleed, don't bleed on the project. I'm like, okay.
Fantastic advice.
I think about that every time. Don't bleed on the project.
If you're going to bleed, don't bleed on the project. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I love that.
And then when like, because the class was making pajama pants, which are like the easiest thing to make and which are very fun to make. That and circle
Yeah.
skirts are the easiest things. And when we were working on
Bleed away from the work.
part of it, she was bleed away from the work. She was like, it seems like a sweatshop in here because you're all making big long lines with your sewing machines. I'm like, all right.
What?
Thanks. It was also one entire lifetime ago.
Jeez.
By which I mean like 2016.
Yeah. In 2016, I was 15 years old.
I was like,
Damn.
damn bitch, you old.
Damn, bitch, you old.
Shut up. Okay. Okay, why are you not
for real?
free to... Yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah. We're in the post-time skip timeline. We're in the post-time skip arc now. This is like
There we go. No, fucking get off of there. Stubborn thing. So stubborn. Why did I do this to myself?
we're in the post-time skip. We're all gay now.
I done been gay, but it did take me a long time to figure out I was not binary. That was like probably 2021. Took me until like 2015 to realize I was bi, though.
I was in like heavy denial about being gay until I was
Yeah, me
like,
too.
let's fucking go. Until I was like 18. And then I was like, oh, wait a sec. What the fuck am I worried about? What's my problem? Kissing dudes is awesome. And then
and then you were like, what if I'm not even a dude?
I joined the community and I was like, wait a second. I don't even think I'm a dude anymore, to be honest with you. Like That was like right after I joined the community, to be honest. I don't
Fucking
like
red
attribute
nudity made
that
me gay.
to I don't attribute that directly to the community. I'd say it helped me feel more comfortable in myself, but like the writing was on the wall. Like there were a lot of things throughout my entire history where I'm just like, oh yeah, no, this is just I was gonna end up like this. No,
Yeah.
this was gonna happen. I
I
just needed people to be like, yeah, no, you're allowed to
you're allowed,
you're
that's
allowed
normal.
to yeah,
You're not making it up.
you're
The you're not making it up is one of the things that took me forever to figure out.
dude, right?
Like, what if I'm just making it up?
Yeah, like everybody else is allowed to be themselves, but me? Nah,
Me? No.
nah.
I must be making it up.
I have to be. Every look, all right. It's completely normal to imagine kissing all of your male friends from your church group.
I had a list that I made when I was figuring out I was non-binary called "That's Not Very Cis Money of You."
It's
Um,
not very cis money. Let's
I
go.
wish I still had that list. Um, but it was like all of the things I could think of from really any time, including childhood, that were like, yeah, this taking joy in feeling masculine or not being perceived as any gender, that's fine. That doesn't mean anything. Ha ha ha. Smile.
Ha 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 ha. Smile.
Yeah, this can be a little difficult with the trying to get these fingers to like cooperate. So what I'm doing is I'm looping these through here.
Everybody secretly wants to be pretty and flowy and androgynous and indeterminable at all times forever.
Like that I feel like is that some cis guys do just kind of like being pretty and like that's fine. But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it's that and other stuff.
Oh, there's a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, no, like there are some cis guys who are just like, yeah, no, I just like being pretty.
I just
And
like dressing
fuck
so I don't have
yeah,
to tell you. It's like, yeah.
yeah, fuck yeah to you. Call me.
Yeah.
Um but
Everyone wants to look like an unfinished Yoshitaka Amano sketch. Exactly.
yes. Exactly, Hollis.
My gender is Bart's from Final Fantasy V.
My gender is it's some mix of Celeste from 6 and Terra's Esper form also from 6, but neither one of them are women anymore. They're both questioning their gender now.
Okay. Done this a number of different ways, but I think trying to stick that in there doesn't usually work super well. So I'm going to cut this off.
Actually, yeah, hold on. There's a gender ambiguous character right there in Final Fantasy V. Yeah, I'm Ferris.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah, there
like,
we go.
all of my knowledge of Final Fantasy comes from other people, so I I like watch somebody play 6 and that's how I know any of what you're talking about.
Yeah. Final Fantasy V art is so fucking rad. I wish there was a game about it, dude. Me too.
I just got really addicted to the Gilgamesh battle on the Big Bridge song. So then I looked up stuff about 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can add
Gilgamesh is so fucking good. Do you know
he's
the
my favorite.
story behind Gilgamesh as a whole?
Well, it's just that he's like a weirdo who wants to fight legendary warriors and collect swords and like crosses galaxies to get there. And is just shows
Yeah,
up in like a whole bunch of different games.
yeah. And so it's like technically this is the same dude every time. Kind of. Quote unquote.
He
And
tends to look
like
different every time, but he's
he tends to look
there.
different. Sometimes he acts different. Like it kind of depends. Like in 12, he doesn't talk at all.
Like, that's the
Uh,
whole point.
it's like, yeah, that's the whole point.
That you're a little
Um,
weirdo, little sword pervert.
he is still a sword pervert in 12. Like every time you deal enough damage to him, he throws a sword on the ground and he gets like a whole extra cutscene being like, new sword! And then like that and like then he busts out like a bunch of new moves related to his new sword. And it's like you fucking
Yeah, he gets put in the
I mean,
Tupperware between dimensions. We just keep him
I
there
guess
until he's needed.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
this I
did
don't
like
really attach to anything, but it's better that I because of the of wrapping the wire around this, it was important to do that first and then add the meat of the hand. And then for this, we don't add core wool because it's so thin. We are just going to add um, like the skin color wool, and I'll do that after I'm finished making the rest of it. All right, go on.
oh, where was I?
You're talking about Gilgamesh and swords. I just wanted to say that before I was done.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you're so cool. I did like what they did with him in 7 Rebirth
Mm-hmm.
because to put it into perspective, I didn't finish that game actually. I got to the final boss and then I was like, actually, this game is just barely too long to where it has waned all of my interest and I stopped right before the literal final boss of the game to put
Ah.
it into perspective. But I did push through as far as possible to finish the Gilgamesh side quest. Which admittedly also finishing the Gilgamesh side quest did take up the rest of my energy and is part of why I didn't finish the game. But I did love what they did with Gilgamesh in
Mm-hmm.
that game. Um,
You sort of get a feel for like how much wool to use in this scenario. Um, that wasn't quite enough for the arm. This is probably enough. If it's too much, I'll just get rid of some. If there's not enough, I'll add more. Um, Felting's pretty forgiving, especially at this stage.
mm, mm,
Sort of bunch it up here to the shoulder.
yeah, this is the little guy. This is wire mesh. This is wire mesh. This isn't wire mouse.
Fighting polygon team where
Yeah.
is it harder to take some away? Depends at what point. Because like for example, the fact that I had to cut off that thing that I decided I didn't want to use, that was because I had already felted it down, and this stuff gets really dense when it felts down. Um, and it's hard to push things through. So when I need to put something through there, like uh, I will when I have to add the chain. This is a cake tester, and I bought some for actual cake testing purposes, but then I was like, this would be really good for felting as well. And I used to use just sort of like a big like needle, not like a sharp one, um, and you can kind of like bore holes through there, kind of like an awl, um, and it takes a little bit, but once it's been felted down, it's hard to take away more. Um, but when it's just like this, it's like, I don't think I need that. You just get rid of it. Um, but it's you can always make adjustments. Okay, talking about.
I think I was kind of done talking about Gilgamesh.
Okay.
So
And you don't have to stick around for the whole stream or anything. I was just like, if you want.
Oh yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a good co-worky. I'm getting some painting in on that. Well, actually, right now I'm on the color blending process, and there is so much color blending with digital painting, at least with
Yeah.
like and like first of all, like holy shit, the end result looks amazing, but like
But it's
I
a
am
lot
still
harder
kind of
than like flat
yeah, I
colors
am
and then shading and then, you know.
yeah, I am still like pretty early on. Like there's a lot to this piece that needs to happen, but like this part of it, like it's going really well. It's just at the same time it's going slowly. Luckily, I have a lot of time, but just, you know, I'm just here blending away. I the thing is it's like I don't know if it's spoilery or not. So it's like I don't know if I can show it off at all. Because it's like I don't want to spoil the game to like players or to people who like are invested in watching it.
Well, considering that I am not going to be figuring out how to add a browser source, even though I think I know how to do it in theory and have done it for other things, we can just not worry about sharing it right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, I don't want to mess it up.
Not so fair.
I also tend to be like, okay, is the neck sort of in the middle here? The way that I make the armature, it tends to sort of be to one side or another. Um, does it look like it's in proportion? The back looked like it didn't have enough back to it. Okay.
The back of the back.
Needs more meat to it. My dolls tend to be like not terribly spindly. Um, I tend to like them to have body to them.
Wait. Wait.
Is that going?
Did you throw Excalibur to beat the final boss, or are you neurotypical?
Here we're having something happen where I made this shoulder too low. These need to match. And they match down here. But if they don't match up here... Okay, I just need to add more to the shoulder. Yeah, that's okay. And like some of this is kind of obsessive and you're not gonna see all of it. But particularly because like this character has kind of puffy sleeves, and I'm not sure exactly how I want to do that. If I want to represent that. You won't see.
Sleeve become puffy.
I do end up using a lot of the knowledge from when I did cosplay to make clothes for the felt dolls, because like luckily it doesn't have to be perfect, because you could just kind of like stretch things around, but like the pants pattern has to like incorporate more like essentially like gussets and darts, so that so that you can like stretch them all the way around and they won't come apart. It's sort of hard to explain unless you're looking at it, but it feels like you're making clothes for like a Cirque du Soleil person or something, where like they have to be able to do the splits in these.
Yeah.
A lot of trial and error. Like, okay, this doesn't work. I'll like make a prototype in paper first and be like, add more to it. And just have like patterns. So patterns for sleeves tend to just be like a rectangle. I can kind of stretch it over the arm. Figure out how to tucking it. Wasn't the greatest way.
What'd you say?
Tucking action. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
Can't. Yeah, that looks out the arm. Out the arm. Close enough that it's gonna be fine once.
I'm kind of reminded of like. What am I reminded of? This reminds me of a little guy. There's a little guy in my head that I'm thinking of right now. Who is my mental little guy? Hmm. For some reason, my brain wants to say a Wallace and Gromit character, but I don't know who or what. Like, maybe it's just the shape and the fact that it's like a real a real art
I
person.
mean, yeah, that's it's like stop motion adjacent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to like try making stop motion stuff with my dolls sometimes.
Yo, that would rule. That would take so
Oh
long.
fuck yeah, of course it would, which is why I've like never done it. And also I would need to make like separate this, and like I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, like sets. Oh god, yeah.
When you like take
That
stuff off, it tends to be kind of ruined. Like you don't often put it.
yeah. And then like locations as well. Like there's the building of like location sets. Like that's a whole other beast.
Like I don't know if you've seen on Instagram people like there's a person who makes these like really amazing like stop motion felt like cooking videos in like a tiny kitchen. They're just like the
I
coolest thing you've ever seen in your goddamn life, but they had to have taken forever.
I think I've seen one. That sounds
And
familiar.
like she has a bazillion of them. I have no idea how.
God, how?
I don't know.
She must be like so familiar with the process. After about 120 hours each with four of us, we
Each.
had a two we had a 2 minute animation
Yeah.
based.
Yeah. Have you
It's
seen that Parks and
awesome.
Rec clip where the could a depressed person make this picture comes from?
Could a depressed person make this?
Cause
That's
it's because I'm severance pilled now, I had to like watch more stuff that Adam Scott's in. I haven't really watched Parks and Rec, but like I've seen clips of it.
yeah.
And the context behind could a depressed person make this is he's like depressed and not going to work and is working on his
Right.
claymation instead.
He got laid off
Ah,
because
you know more about this than I do. Okay.
he yeah, I've seen Parks and Rec. I haven't seen Severance, but I have
Watch
seen Parks and Rec.
it.
I will.
Watch it
I
so I can yell at
will.
you about it.
I, Jeez, okay, I will watch Severance, and then I will yell at you and Ghost and be like, I've watched Severance. I've done it.
You don't have to if you don't want
I have
to, but
I've
I think you'd
consumed
like
media.
it.
No, 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 no. Here's the thing. I want to. And two people who I think are cool and have good taste in media have said that I would like it. So
Very
I will
psychological and weird.
probably like it. And see, it sounds like it's up my alley. I just haven't had time.
Yeah, I mean it's not like the world's biggest time commitment, but it is too
Yeah.
so far.
So far.
This is him.
Hem, hem,
Doesn't look
hem.
right.
But yeah, so it's like the context is that like he got fired because he was dating a coworker who was like under him. Uh and so like uh and then like his other coworkers going to check in on him. They do continue dating, by the way. It's like the main character of the show and him. And then it's like, okay, so and then his like best friend goes in to like check up on him, and he's just like, I've been working on my sweet claymation.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like the guy is just like, I think you're very depressed. And he's just like, could a depressed person make this? And it's like 5 seconds.
Like that took
Not
like two
even.
weeks.
Not even. It's like, how long is it? It's so short. It's like the music gets cut off right as it's starting.
Always right leg. Can kind of yank it around a little bit.
Mm. Just making an animated emote in stop motion would be so hard.
Yeah.
Like animated emotes are like 3 to 6 frames.
The
And
ones
it's
that I
like
made are just
three,
2 frames, but if
yeah,
you're
like
actually
okay,
doing it, then yeah.
so like 2 to 6 frames. Um and it's like even that is like annoying
Yeah.
because it's like stop motion is just like making the clay models themselves or like making the models, making everything like
I think its
and then just like
consistency is the hardest part because you have to like make sure that the
exactly
lighting is the
like
same.
the lighting's the same. You have to make sure that the movement looks consistent and like not too jarringly different so that it looks like it needs to look like legitimate movement, and that like that alone is so hard to capture in just like 1 to 2 frames that it's like you would need like something more drawn out. Like it's and even and like that would require a lot more work, a lot more posing, and it's just so time consuming.
Yeah, no going
No
back for
going back for
in-betweens.
in betweens, dude.
Not unless you like
And
CG it or something.
yeah, right. God, oh, and if your claymation involves breaking something,
Or
there's
something like not being attached to the ground.
yeah. Uh, Fuck, there was like one scene in a movie that was like it was like a fucking I don't remember if it was a Godzilla movie or if it was like a parody Godzilla movie. No, it wasn't a legit Godzilla movie because it was like funny, but I don't remember if it was like Godzilla the monster or a parody of Godzilla. But like the one of the jokes was that it was like, oh no, giant monsters destroying the town, and then it cut to like a claymation, like kind of not claymation, but like stop motion of
Mhm.
like
That is what they used to
this
do, yeah, in like the
this
60s.
like this like giant puppet just like fucking destroying this like uh little cityscape, and like
Playset.
the puppet kind of breaks down halfway through, and it's
Oh
just
no.
it's just they keep going. And it's just and that's like the take in the movie, and then miraculously at the end it's just like we cut back and like the monster is fine.
It's
Because
fine.
I think it's like actually animated, but then like this one scene or like a couple of scenes are in this sort of like stop motion type deal. I forget what film it is. I just like
This
uh
is in the hey, stop obsessing over how these aren't exactly the same size. They're
yeah.
not, but they're not close. Um, but they are. But they are mouse. They're fine. Uh,
The one that makes me sweat just seeing it is when things have to melt and reform.
yeah.
What? You can hold on, what in stop motion has
Well, like
had to melt
claymation
and
can do that.
reform? Damn, that's wild.
Sometimes I can psych myself out with things not being the right length because I checked when I was making this that they were the right length and the fingers are about the same. So I was just kind of had it dented the wrong way.
They look right. At least, you
Yes,
know,
they look
here
fine.
they do. You have
Yes.
to destroy two versions of the model.
All right, let's give them some legs.
I know there was also on. Okay, I remember this show, but there was one show where it was like this was also animated, but they would cut to like
Why are your
that
arms wrong?
why are your arms wrong?
Why are your arms wrong?
Throw your hands up in the air sometimes.
Uh, why are they wrong? Why is this arm longer? Whatever. Whatever. Absolutely whatever.
This guy went to arm day. The other arm did not. I'm sorry, am I not helping?
No, I'm sighing at myself. Like, it is absolutely fine. Nobody's gonna care. This isn't for a commission. But, like, I want to do it right.
Yeah.
Torso and neck both to one side. I mean, I kind of did that already. Is it because I... Raise your hands up in the air. Like your arms aren't different lengths. Literally nobody cares but you. It's fine.
How many songs go like throw your hands up in the air? There's a lot of them.
Many.
So
And
many.
the I throw my hands up in the air sometimes was
Like
like
Dynamite.
it, yeah, that. That was like the song of the women's basketball team at my college when we had to play pep band for them.
Let's
Um,
go.
for like 2 years in a row. So pretty much like every other Saturday, I would hear that song
You're
like
Dynamite over and
so
over.
many fucking times, and I'm just like, yes, I agree that I hold my hands up in the air sometimes going, hey yo, let's go, but I don't say it to everybody. I got so sick of that song.
No, understandable.
Ah,
I so I liked that song pretty casually as like
it's a good
I think I
song
was
when you
like a
don't hear it every fucking day.
yeah, I think I was like a it's like in my this I forget how old I was, but like I was old enough to where I got super into the Minecraft version.
Hell yeah.
The Captain Sparkles
Hell yeah,
Minecraft
gamer.
version. I loved that shit and I blasted that shit so loud that my parents got fucking sick of hearing it and they were like, "Why the it's they thought it was the actual song though and they were like, "Can you please play it quieter?"
That's me with like
And
Weird
I
Al songs. I'm like, oh, I know the Weird Al version of this. I don't know the real version. And then you hear the real version, you're like, oh, that's what that is.
well, I knew the real version because from I knew it from Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief the movie,
Hell yeah,
which
I did love
sucked
those books.
ass. I
The
love the
the movie
books.
was pretty ass, but I did love the books.
Yeah, the movie. Oh my god! I never watched the second movie because I was just like,
I was like,
no,
this doesn't seem quite right.
no. Again, I
Also,
was
Rick
not
Riordan
a
is
big
like
deal.
the realest real one when it comes to being an LGBT ally.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude was just like, dude, if you're like being weird about gender fluidity in Norse
In
stories,
in
what the
like
fuck are
Greek
you
mythology,
doing?
what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, like
Yeah, right?
I don't know what to tell you. They were all like that.
Yeah.
Also, like, and yes, this pre-established character can be gay. I wrote them. I decided that.
I've decided gay.
I've decided that this
Pray that
person
I
who
don't
was like
decide
a
gayer.
child the last time you saw them and didn't really like have a sexuality yet, can be gay now. Like, sure.
Yeah. I remember this is a core lazy little memory. Reading the fuck, it was like the third book in the Percy Jackson sequel series, or was it the
I haven't
fourth
read any of
book?
the sequel series. I've only read the original.
I I read like a chunk of the sequel series, but I remember this book. In that like they had to fight Cupid, or like the Roman Cupid,
I
and
think Cupid is the Roman Cupid.
oh shit, really?
I think so.
I thought I thought Cupid came from like Fey mythology and like
Did it? I could also be wrong.
I mean I there's a chance that I am wrong.
You want to look it
I
up?
I do want to look it up. I've looked it up because I've had to use I've written a lot of like Fey mythology into uh into
Like Monster of the Week and stuff. Yeah.
Monster of the
Which,
Week.
by the way, I ordered The King in Yellow so I could read it.
Oh hell yeah. Did you get the four major stories or did you get all 10 stories?
I don't know. I got the cheapest one on Amazon.
No, that's so fair. the 4 main stories are the ones that contain all of the allegories and like the main stories of the King in Yellow, while the 10 stories are all of Robert Chambers' the King in Yellow stories. Not all of them can, like the 6 others don't really contain anything about the King in Yellow, which is why they're usually left out. They're just other cool stories that like
They're like in the same
uh
universe.
yeah, yeah. Um not
Wait a minute.
yeah, not necessarily required reading. None of them are, but that's so rad.
Yeah, I bought that and I bought
Um
House of Leaves.
oh, I I got that for Christmas, and I need to go back and finish it.
I read the introduction to it on like archive.org because like the whole thing is on there, but I know that you need to read it like as a physical book.
Yeah.
And also that book is kind of long, so I wanted to be able to just like have it as a But no, I went into somebody's stream and they were playing myhouse.wad, but it wasn't labeled as such. It was just labeled as Doom 2. And I was like, okay, stupid question because I've only ever played Chex Quest and not Real Doom. Is this a mod? And they're like, yeah, gamer, it is. And also, um, if you haven't seen it, very politely scram and play it yourself because you can kind of only experience it once. And I'm like, okay, fine, bye. um, and My House What is based on House of Leaves, at least somewhat. So I'm like, you know what? I should just read that first. I will play
Okay,
My
no,
House
Cupid is Roman. Cupids are a type of fairy
Okay,
that is
so we were both
created
right.
in no Cupids aren't from mythology. Cupids are from fictional stories created later.
I
Um
mean, they're all
I mean
fictional
they're all
stories? Question mark.
right, but just
I know
I
what you
guess
mean though.
yeah.
Like, not in like mythology
Yeah.
or Lord of
I
the
mean
Rings.
I could start pulling stuff from Lord of the Rings as well. I should start pulling stuff from the Vampire Diaries. That's where I need to get like we could start getting
I'm
messy.
so fucking embarrassed. Like, I shouldn't be, but I'm embarrassed of the fact that I'm like an extremely predictable vampire enjoyer.
But the vampires are awesome.
They are. They're cool and they're hot and they're fun to write about and they have a lot of societal implications and interesting like ethical quandaries and stuff and they're hot and also
Yeah. Like the whole like right to exist plotline that we're going with Sparky
yeah, that
alone
he's
is
like
just
am
like
I like by taking things from people am I like allowed to exist when I gave up my own humanity to cure my illness, which is
yeah.
like it's just kind of a cool plotline that I really like.
Yeah. Like I think you're playing an extremely interesting vampire.
Yeah.
Like even if like even like even if like whether predictable or not, which I don't think you're being that predictable to be honest with you.
No,
Um
Sparky's not like a traditional sexy vampire. Like he's cute and all, but like he's also completely unavailable.
fucking boy failure over here.
Hmm.
This dude this dude can't
No
eat
bitches
steak.
because his bitch is dead.
No bitches just sucking on steak like lollipop.
That was that was like genuinely kind of touching when the characters were all like, "Oh yes, we will also
Yeah,
do
that
this."
was. I did love that actually.
Yeah,
It's like
we will make you look
fucking
normal.
Buford sucking on his steak, glamour with their waffle. It's so cute. I love the party.
Oh, great.
Yeah. The I think there's a really great dynamic. And I think we have a lot of I think kind of the six personalities that make up the group are very very interesting. Like both player wise and character wise, I think there's just a lot of like there's just a lot of like interesting like chemistry and like kind of
Yeah, it's
as
sort
well as
of
like
like I feel like it doesn't fall into a lot of sort of stereotypes that you might find in D&D, but it's also, it helps that it's not D&D. It's like a modern um
yeah.
setting. Um Different things. But like everybody gets along but is sort of like strange in their own ways.
Yeah. Like I love that the party is just like this weird band of misfits and that like even the humans who are perceived as like the quote unquote normal ones by like the other humans around are like even they
It's
are
kind of
like
just like Yola, Buford, and Al, and I guess Mick. I guess most of them are
yeah.
normal humans, and the only non-normal humans are Sparky and Glamour.
But like even like Al and Mick to a degree have like magical abilities or connections that like can earn them like some form of like that's abnormal. Uh but like yeah. Uh but yeah, of course. And I do kind of like sorry. Wait.
I just had like a random thought that maybe Twitch is gonna think that like having an ass on the screen like this is gonna be TOS. I sure as hell hope not.
No
There's
way.
no way, but like Discord
No.
once flagged something that I made that was at this stage as being a W. I'm like, no, it's not? Question
Really?
mark.
Really?
What are you
That's
talking about?
wild. Discord this?
This
This this guy?
this is not a person. The felt and wire etc. representation of him.
That's an ass.
But it is an ass. And I'll say it. I'm good at sculpting asses.
That's in-ass appropriate.
Yes. Fine. It's fine. Looks fine.
Mouse, what are the children gonna think on your 18 plus stream?
18 plus. The fetish of okay, you could possibly, if you really wanted to be a freak about it, um, say that it's like a voodoo doll or like dabbing a representation of a person in the crotch as I'm doing at this very moment. Um, but that's not. It's arts and crafts.
That's scary. That's some freak shit.
Okay. I like actually got mad at somebody for I didn't actually get mad, but I did like react very strongly to somebody saying, "Hey, you should make like Trump voodoo dolls so that people can like stab him and stuff." And I'm just like, "No."
I what? But then okay, but then firstly, you then have to make dolls of him
Yeah, I don't want to look at his stupid face, and I certainly don't
and
want to make
like
his stupid face.
yeah. And then it's like
Skinny Pillsbury Doughboy, that is kind of what this character is right now.
I just
And we won't stay on
uh
politics for long because I know we're all on the same page anyway, and it's just gonna make people depressed. But I was just like, no, and also I don't like to wish harm on people, even people who suck. Like, I just like no, absolutely the
I don't
hell
know,
not.
I just think that's kind of creepy.
It's kind of creepy, and it's kind of like in bad taste, in my opinion.
Like, I also fucking hate the guy and hope he croaks, but like,
But
maybe I shouldn't say that on your
I
stream,
just
but
don't want to like bring that kind of energy into the world, frankly.
yeah, like, it's weird to be like, I want to buy
Like
buy this product.
also it would be culturally inappropriate if I made a voodoo doll, because that's like who's like a Black
Yeah,
New Orleans thing, and I am neither of those things.
yeah.
Time and cholesterol will do more than my hate ever could. That's
Time
a
and
good way to look at
cholesterol.
it, honestly.
Let's fucking
The
go.
inexorable march of time will slowly take down us all, even the worst people to ever exist. And
I mean,
that's kind
he's
of a
not
nice
doing
thing to think
great.
about.
He's not doing great. I got my
No,
hopes that
nobody's immortal.
it's not gonna be 4 years. I got my hopes, but
Okay. Change the subject time, but yes, I
change
agree.
of subject time. Change of subject time. My bad.
Um, not
Um,
your fault. I brought it up, but I kind of do this with politics where I'm like, we can talk about it for like 5 minutes and then let's not anymore. Actually,
yeah, yeah. Uh, do you want to talk about Monster the Wheel? It's
I
I am obsessed with it.
well, yeah,
Like I'm obsessed with our campaign.
I love our
Um,
campaign. I'm glad it's gone on so long.
Same. I hope that we get to finish it. I know that we are on like arc 3 of like 13, but
Like, yeah, I don't know if
I,
we'll do absolutely
like
everything, but like, I hope that we get to continue it for
I
another while.
yeah. Here's the thing, like some arcs can be skipped. Like you guys are about to approach the point where it's like you'll get an option to skip one. Um, and that'll be up to you. And like I've established this previously to anybody watching, but like, you know, the structure kind of has always been established as like you will do 2 mysteries from a batch of 3, get an emergency mystery, and then be able to decide if you want to do the last mystery of your old batch or move on to the next batch. Um, and that's just kind of always been how it works, just so that if there's ever like a mystery you guys are expressively not interested in or one that you just want to move on from, uh, there's always that option. And of course, that will also shorten the game length, which is also so fine.
I finished editing a video.
Um,
Tomorrow I get to watch it back and hate my voice. Yo, same gamer. I hate my voice.
no, let's go. Doesn't have
Well,
to
my
shorten
voice
the
is
game.
fine. I
Let's
just don't
go.
like hearing it back. Because I hear it in my
Uh,
head lower than it really is. And when I'm like, oh no,
I
my voice is too girly.
I don't like hearing my voice. Um, I
I don't think anybody does.
yeah, I think it's like
I don't think anybody likes hearing their own voice. Lots of people like hearing your voice loud. I knew you knew what I meant, but I wanted to like put
thank
that out
you.
there.
Uh, thank you. But yeah, it's weird. Voices are weird, and like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like listening to my own voice play back at me because like, first of
Both
all,
got good voices, thanks.
oh, thank you. I think that microphones bring out the raspy quality of my voice in the worst way.
I think it brings out the raspy quality in a nice way.
Thank you. Uh, I wish I shared that sentiment.
I know, it's so
Um,
hard to like accept compliments about a thing about yourself, particularly that you're self-conscious about.
yeah, and I do think that like in some points it can make my rasp sound weirdly nasally,
Mhm.
which I'm not the hugest fan of, because in real life it kind of makes me sound a bit more like sultry in a weird way, and I kind of dig that, but then I hear myself played back, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this dweeb? Who the fuck? I thought I was like sexy as hell. What the fuck is playing back at me? I thought I was Jessica Rabbit. No, I'm just fucking Roger. I'm
That's just
not.
how it always feels. I also like do not have to be sculpting the legs this accurately because they wear pants, but I'm doing it anyway, and I've always done it anyway
Dude,
because it needs to fucking look right.
it needs to
What
look
if they
right.
look what if they look under the pants? They
Once
need
they
to
look
know.
under, they need. Yeah, exactly.
Now, the
I'm
thing
gonna
about my
lift up.
stuff is like if anybody's wearing like a skirt or a dress or whatever, there's always like essentially like bicycle shorts under there. Um
I I don't think I can lift up Skull Kid's pants.
what is
I cannot.
Oh, I think Skull Kid doesn't have yeah, because they're tight enough to the like hip area that I didn't add anything under there.
Yeah.
So like pant legs I'll add like skin or whatever up to like here-ish. Um and then be like, okay, after that it's fine. Like long sleeves. Except for this, I probably don't need to because they have like cuffed sleeves, so they're tight. Like loose. I add more skin up.
Oh, ow. Yeah, I just have the worst crick in my neck. I need somebody to crack the shit out of my neck.
Barreling over from Ohio to be like, I'll help. I don't know what I'm doing.
I need. Is anybody here a trained chiropractor? Actually, I don't need a trained chiropractor. You just need to follow directions. Follow my exact directions and you won't break my neck.
Add. Here's another thing about hips and butts is that you need to have like the sides, especially if they're
Mm,
like a femme character. If they're not, then that's not there as much. But this the WireMouse character is um NB, obviously, but
yeah.
is slightly femme. So, but like
Eh,
a masked character's butt will be more like just straight back rather than around the sides.
I need to request a wire mesh of myself and just tell you to give me the, like, most incredible ass you've ever made.
The most incredible ass I've ever made was for the Jimmy thing that Joanna commissioned
Oh,
for Renee.
yeah!
But I was
Oh
like, I
my
am going
god.
to make the most splendid butt I've ever made in my life.
I don't think you could ever beat that, to be
It was
honest.
pretty good.
That butt was
Stellar.
absolutely stellar.
Simply a fine butt. And another thing
It was
about
everything.
uh boobs tend to do this more than butts, at least experience. Is that you can have this you want to make sure that this is dense enough so that when you're adding the color felt on top of it, that you're not just like felting it down so that there's like no curve there anymore. You want to have like a
Hmm.
pretty solid base to put it on, because if you yeah, like, oh, this, these boobs look right, and then you put the color felt on top of it, and you're like, oh no, you went down like 3 cup sizes. That ain't right.
Uh-oh. Where Boop?
Where'd Boop go?
Where'd Boop go?
Oh, right. Still want to have more of a back.
Unfortunately, I do think that I have, I don't think it's much of a spoiler to say that I am drawing the main villain of this arc.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it is Haster, but I have accidentally given Haster the juiciest fucking ass that I think
Aster.
Haster.
I promise that this is not like a blue comedy stream where I just like make a bunch of sex jokes or whatever. I just kind of like talking about bodies when I'm making them.
Yeah, no, look, butts are cool. Like, we're
Scientifically
not.
interested in butts.
I don't think anybody's gonna be like, I think these two non-binary like.
These two losers won't shut up about butts. It's like, but I'm sculpting one at this very moment.
I think these soft NB artists are shock jocks. I think this mouse person with pastel blue as their background is really into sex humor.
I mean, I'm not a prude or anything. I just like, it's not my brand particularly.
No, I getcha, yeah.
Okay, I've avoided making this other heel for long enough. Oh god, 2 hours have passed. I like just looked at the clock.
Let's go.
This is what I end up doing, is I will be like watching a stream or something and be like, huh? How long have I been doing this? Like I just get very in the zone.
Yeah, I'm very similar in that once I'm in it, I'm like I'm fucking in it. I'm just like I can't stop.
Yeah, I want to go until I have the base done and then have the hands. And that should probably be another half hour, maybe?
Hell yeah. I am I think I think I'm reaching kind of a stopping point because I finished some major parts. Um and I am starting to run a little lower on Steam.
You can get going whenever you want.
Um I know.
I'm not kicking you out, I'm just saying if you're tired, you can go forever.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't be too much longer.
Yeah. I do think that I need to smoke some weed, but I don't want to leave my apartment right now.
But I thought you acquired some.
No, I have. There's just a mandate where it's like I have to be 25 feet away from any
Oh, like actually
entrance.
smoke it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I do still have the lemonade, but I don't want to get lemonade high. So my options are get up or get lemonade high. I'll be back.
Okay, see you in a bit. God, young and only slept 6 nights a week. Yeah, I feel that. I could never quite do all-nighters much, but you could just get away with shit when you're like 19. You're like, yeah, this is fine. And it was fine. I very much appreciate Les coming by because I was like, obviously I won't have a guest for every single stream, but I was very nervous about having enough to talk about. Oh, it's my baby son! Hello! You've decided to come back. Hello, sir. Hello. I missed you so much. Like, I was right here the whole time. It's been a great stream. Thank you. And I will get, like, the captions working. I'm sure it's just OBS being stupid because I know it's set up correctly. Because it literally worked last time. But yeah, most of my streams, there'll be, like, gaming ones as well. Probably the one I do after I finish this guy will be, like, an Ocarina of Time rando one. And those might be, like, a bit more high energy, but I'm a relatively, like... I don't want to say I'm a relatively chill person, because I'm possibly the most anxious person who's ever lived, but, the vibes are relatively chill around here. They'll be more... Felting streams will be more along the lines of, way. Person. Fuck. Bye.
Wait.
Oh, you already got it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself. I got my first view bot.
Dude, cheap viewers.
Hell yeah. First spam bot.
But,
Mazel tov.
dude, why get cheap viewers when you can have the best viewers?
Why get cheap viewers when I can have my buddies?
Damn.
Who I love dearly. All of them.
Oh, mouse.
That means you.
That means you. Relentless facelift LBBW.
They're all like act accounts. Get wrecked bot.
Get wrecked bot. The bot's getting called out. Directly. You were supposed to be the chosen one. You could have integrated into the community.
But no. Had to be a bot about it.
Yeah.
Heels are just, they're so hard to get right. That's also like a drawing feet is hard thing. Like, sculpting feet is also hard. It's like, the top of the foot is flatter than you think it is. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect right now because we're gonna get more detail-oriented when we add the color to it, but I do want to have, another thing I do is make sure the feet are the same length. Because that's an easy thing to just, like, accidentally put, like, way bigger than the saying earlier that if the character has heels, you have to sculpt the foot like that. Like it's a Barbie foot.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, then they don't have anything to stand on here. Like, if there's not a wire in there, then it's not going to be Alright. Like, it's being held up by a stand anyway, but, just for the purposes of...
Yeah.
end up learning stuff just by like a lot of this. I just sort of learned by doing. I did like look at tutorials and take a lot of notes on videos that I saw, but a lot of the techniques are stuff I like semi or completely made up.
Hey, sometimes you gotta be your own teacher.
Well, and not a whole lot of people make dolls like this. Tend to make more like animals and things.
Mm.
Make the tail. A rat tail, so
Great.
above the butt.
Wait, have you been wire rat this whole time?
Yep.
That's based,
I'm
actually.
technically a mouse. I am not a rat, but I am. Owie. And for tails, you want like even if they're
The
fluffy,
fox.
like yes. Even if they're fluffy, you just make them sort of like this version of like a rat tail, and then you add the fluff later. Doing really thin stuff like this is kind of difficult, because you don't want to just be jabbing into the armature,
Mm.
because that breaks the needle. Um,
Would so would
Side of it.
yeah, would a tail like mine count as fluffy or
Here's like the dragon tail. It's more that you would just like sculpt the whole thing because it's like a meteor tail. I would just sort of do this,
mm,
but like bulked out a bit more. Um,
gotcha.
but like when I've made dogs with tails that are fluffier, you add the fluff later.
Gotcha.
Kind of add it in the way that you would add hair onto a wig. It's like kind of that's definitely something that I like learned from watching too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm applying pressure to the side, and I'm not going straight into the armature wire because that will break the needle if I'm too harsh on it.
Mm.
I want it to be like a good like curving shape, but I don't need it to be perfect right now. I just need to cover it, and then I can kind of shape it better. Sometimes it's helpful to have it like right against the mat here.
Oof. I have my water.
There.
Water.
What there for you?
What flavor of weed did I just smoke? I need to know. This is a right now. This is important.
I'm
Um,
so mad I can't find weed street waffles.
dude, right?
I learned about that, and I'm like, that sounds so amazing. Uh,
Watermelon. Okay, I just smoked watermelon, which
I did find a
it
recipe
doesn't
for
taste like
caramels.
watermelon. No. Okay, so
Group
Stroop
Weedle.
Weedles.
Like, that's good.
So, okay, you texted me that, and then like it was basically like okay, I
Also, I
pulled
don't know if
in
we are like
to
allowed to be talking about smoking weed on stream, but it is
you're
legal.
allowed You're allowed to, as long as you're not actively smoking on stream.
Okay.
Actually, wait, they changed that. You're allowed to actively smoke on stream as long as it is legal where you are and you do not, like, get super high.
Well, yeah, I'm not
Um,
planning on actually being super high on any kind of stream,
yeah.
but for those who are wondering, I am in Ohio, and weed is legal in Ohio
I
as
am
of like a
in
few months ago.
I am in Washington. You are allowed to it is recreational in Washington. You are not allowed to smoke indoors in Washington. However, you are allowed to smoke within 25 feet of any entrance to a building. So I just have to leave
It's
my
just
apartment to go smoke my weed. Um, and edibles I can take inside of my apartment.
as somebody who is the occasional partaker of weed and also likes to cook a lot, I do want to try making like weed caramel
Dude,
stuff.
dude, same. I want to make weed brownies so bad.
Well, I just found out that weed stroopwafels exist, and I'm like, I have the power. I can make that real. I just have
Yeah.
to figure out the consistency of caramel that you use for stroopwafels and make weed caramel and then make stroopwafels. I have a
Mm.
pizzelle maker, I can probably do it.
Fuck yeah.
'Cause pizzelles are like Italian thin wafer cookies. They're essentially like circular ice cream cones. Um and they're really good and they're usually like anise flavored. And I figure that iron will work fine for waffles as well.
Mm.
I don't know how like hard they are to make. I know when they tried to make them on the Great British Bake Off, everybody fucked it up, but also that was during a technical challenge, and I don't think they had all the instructions.
They also only have like an hour in the Great British Bake Off, whereas like you have all the time in the world to prepare
Like I
and
don't think it's
like
actually that difficult
triple
if you like
check.
know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So like that actually
It's
turned
it's
out pretty good.
like it's like how people try to make baked Alaska on Chopped all the fucking time, and
Like
it's like
don't please.
that takes more than an hour. What are you doing?
God, I had such a chopped phase a few months ago. Like
God.
mostly over like Christmas and like January, I was watching every episode of Chopped on
There
like Prime Video. I had a trial of the Discovery Plus, and I'm like, I'm just gonna use that to watch every episode of Chopped.
there was a period where I was just watching Chopped with my mother, and we were just constantly just like befuddled with the fucking contestants, despite the fact that like, would we do better?
No.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do better.
No.
I couldn't be on a
It
reality show ever. I'd have a panic attack immediately. Are you kidding me? Like,
absolutely.
I'm a
If
good
you
cook. I
told
just couldn't
me
handle the pressure.
exactly, it's like if you told me, "Hey, Laz, you have 1 hour to make something incredible," I would hyperventilate on the spot.
Yeah, no, like just even like being under studio lights, like no freaking way. Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have like sensory issues, and
Like
like
studio lights are hot.
yeah, I am going to go into a fucking Tourette's attack. I am going to have a meltdown.
Wait, or P. Boy. Here's my big old bin.
Oh, the
Um,
big old bin.
like overflowing. I need to get the skin colored, white person skin colored felt out of here. So this tends to be how it comes. When I order, I usually order from Heidi Feathers, which is a British company. And I'll get, well, it sort of comes like this. And this is enough. It's actually quite a lot of wool. Wool is the reason I can kind of get it from England and pay the shipping is because wool is not actually that expensive.
Mm.
It's come on, get in there, buddy. Get bigger.
You know, I'd expect green sheep to be a bit more rare, but
Yeah,
damn.
no, but yeah, all colors of sheep.
Hey, we got many sheep here.
Yeah, no. Basically, the entire reason is because they have sheep in England.
Yeah.
And here's like my bin of stuff. Gonna get the carding brushes out.
That's wild.
Like I'm probably one of the few like American needle cultures. There aren't that many.
Scottish tartan sheep are a bit trickier to find. Are those the legendary green sheep?
Yeah, they've got the plaid on them already. You just
Dude.
so yeah, if you did not see the demonstration last time or any other time that I have like done it on one of my videos, you kind of tear it off like this. Probably too much for right now because I don't actually need that much because I just need it for the hands. And yeah, this is a good like white person skin color. It's slightly less pink, but it works out well.
Mm.
Yeah, you kind of rub it on here. Take the other one and you like tease it out. And this makes it so that you can get a flatter, more consistent surface when you felt. Because if you just used it like this, which I do for like hair, it will show all of these like lines of where it's lined up like that. Whereas when you felt this down, it's like a flatter surface. And because it's already kind of teased out, it makes it much easier to blend, work with. And you can buy wool that's already carded. It's just that the brighter colors that I like tend to only come as tops, which is what it's called when it's all brushed out.
Like, they're only tops, huh?
Uh-huh. Only tops around here.
Only tops. That's it's a little rude, but
I can tell you're like, what can I say that's not gonna sound weird?
it's like I'm trying to
what
think of
kind of
something
joke can
really.
I make?
I want to make something really clever, but it's like, what's fitting?
There he is. I am just gonna have to sort of adjust the camera sometimes.
She.
He sits in different ways. I don't want it to be like too zoomed out. Well, to see the boy. Right. Do the hand. This one we have to use the single needle for because a lot of very spread out the fingers as possible.
This needle's between relationships.
Hmm.
This needle is between relationships. Dude.
Like me, LMFAO. Actually, we do use the double needle for this part, just to get the sort of palm. But when we are fingers. And this does hold 3 needles, but I only use 2, because I like having just like the line. It's sort of like using one of those pens, or markers that has kind of like you can do the flat side or you can do the thin side. Like that's kind of how this is. and also because you don't get as much pressure. If if the more needles you add, the more spread out the pressure is, and then that makes it harder to felt as like effectively.
Hmm.
So if you're like, I'm just gonna have one with like a shit ton of needles in it, it's like, why isn't this going in so far? It's because you're using the same amount of pressure, but it's being spread out through more needles. Therefore, it's not going in. More effective to use just two. Unless you are one of those people who stuff that's like gigantic.
Gotcha.
Some people do make stuff that's gigantic, and I'm like, that's great. I could not do that.
That's
So happy for you,
congratulations
Bestie,
on
but no.
your life-size felted elephant, but like
God. No, I
I
saw
think I'm
like
gonna
somebody was making like a slither wing that was seriously as big as like a big dog. Like it was big. I'm like, how on
Slitherwing
planet Earth?
Slitherwing the
The
that's
Pokemon, the one that's
yeah,
like
yeah, the little
um
guy that's like Larvesta, but
yeah,
ready to
it's
fucking go.
like past Volcarona, yeah.
I love that guy so much. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite guys. They have a large plushie of him that I want so badly.
Ash came back and then he decided to sit on the floor again, so
We
that's
love him
fine.
for that.
He's a
We
strong,
love that.
independent dog, and he.
Yeah, we love that for him, and we love him for that.
He's. I don't think he's an independent dog. He was
No.
snuggling, like pressing his entire body into my side earlier. It was very, very cute.
He's an independent dog.
I want to be closer to you, please.
He's a dog who's in dependency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just short of being claimable on your taxes.
David, if only you could claim your pet on your taxes, that'd be awesome. I have a cat. Alright, cool. You can pay less taxes. Let's fucking go.
That's like the palm.
I will say, actually, you know what? Cricket did get me some free socks recently.
Yeah.
So at my workplace, they had basically uh, at laboratories, it's pretty customary to do like a thing called Lab Week, where it's basically just like, we celebrate the lab. It's, they do it throughout like all hospitals everywhere. It's just kind of a big thing in here in I know it's big here in America, but I don't know if it's like big everywhere else. But either way, so it was Scooby Doo themed. Um, but anyway, one of the things they did was like as a little game, they were like, yeah, send in a picture of you and your pet, and we'll have people try and guess, like whose pet belongs to who. And if you enter and people like your pet, then you'll be entered into a little raffle. And yes, people thought my cat was cute, and so I got entered into a little raffle. Uh, and I won some Scooby Doo socks,
Yes.
which I have to say is fucking awesome.
That's pretty rad. I won a
I
fidget
have.
spinner once.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Like,
I have never
after they were
won a
popular.
raffle before. Yo!
I was at a cosplay contest at a very, very tiny con, and I won because I was like one of the only people who actually made their costume. Um, yeah,
That
I was
fucks.
Cynthia from Pokemon. Um,
Hell yeah.
and I remember that wig being very annoying.
I'm sure.
Like it wasn't as long as her hair actually is, but it was still pretty long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won like just some stuff from like the artist alley and like some
That
posters and
fucking
cool things, but like
rules.
also a fidget spinner, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Let's go. No, that
Kick
fucking
ass.
rules, dude.
And then I used it so much that I like immediately broke it.
I mean, that's how it goes with some fidget toys. They're just that's just they're just that good. They're just that good. They help you fidget that much.
The way that I do fingers here is I will like hold the wool here behind it, and then I'll pull it through about halfway and then wrap it around. And what that does is it like fully encases the wire. Um and it doesn't make it so that you have like a lot of empty space. It just like really like effectively and in a few moves covers the wire with an even layer of the wool. And then you can just kind of felt it down from there. That's something that I like took a very long time to figure out how to do. Like how do you do it? Do you like put it through and then around? Do you just kind of go around? Like you go pull through the middle and then around. Very it's not actually that finicky, but it's just a technique that you're just like, okay, I think this is the way that this will. And that's what's nice about needle felting, at least for me, is that I do a lot of experimentation to see what works and what doesn't.
Hmm.
Here's one of the reasons why I wear these finger guards is because I will be using this to kind of hold the finger in place and sure that it's felted down effectively here. If I wasn't wearing them, I would be stabbing myself a lot.
I'm sure.
So if anybody's like, these things are only for beginners, I'm like, no, no, they're not.
No, they're for people who don't want to stab themselves.
Like, even if you don't do tiny details like this, it's very helpful to be able to grab something and like hold it in a position, particularly things that are like long and flat.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems faster and more efficient.
So yeah, they end up looking a little, fat, but like that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, there's a Japanese artist who makes these really amazing felt dolls that are like very thin and spindly, but I also think they're bigger than this, so they kind of have more room to do that. And also
Hmm.
these fingers are going to be longer. The wire ends like about here. Um
Mm.
yeah, telling on themselves. It's and it's not like it's being said derisively. It's just I'm like, "Oh, you might use these and then you'll move on from them." And I'm like, I've found them to be very useful actually." Also, people who just use the needles and don't put them in a holder are like asking for an RSI. Um, because some people will just do like this. They'll just hold it like this. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. Or they'll hold like two of them, and I'm like, no, no, I want it to be held like a pencil so that I can hold it ergonomically, please and thank you.
Dude, pencil.
Him simply I don't want to say too old for this shit, but I'm too old for this shit. Like you can't fucking do that to your hands, like ever.
Yeah.
Like any age is too old for that shit. But yeah, like can you imagine holding it like that for, hours and hours and hours? Like absolutely not.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Sounds
I'm
miserable.
being sarcastic.
Yeah, but like, ugh, awful. Awful.
Yeah.
I don't love using the single needle because it just takes longer and I'm kind of an impatient person. Um, but it's necessary for details like mostly faces and fingers and just like anything that needs to be a really minute detail like that where you
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it probably next time, but like faces are an interesting thing too because something I've learned is that you want to carve cavities for like the eye sockets. Um, and it also helps you place the eyes in the right spot. But like once you make the nose and you put the nose on there, then you like carve out, by like felting it down, um, where the eyes are going to go. And even though it's like a anime or cartoon character, um, because it's 3D, those things matter. The sort of like dips in where the eye sockets are, the place where your between your nose and your mouth that goes farther back, um the shape of the mouth going farther away from the face. Like it's subtle, but it makes a big difference. And that's a big difference between some of my older work and some of my newer work, is that the faces look a lot flatter on some of my older stuff because I didn't or like the eyes stick out because it ends up being that the eyes are not positioned farther back. They look like they're just normal on the face. Um, but that's because I've then added like several layers of felt of like the white of the eye and the iris and the pupil and the shine and um then it looks normal, but otherwise it would just be sticking out and it doesn't look wrong unless you think about it, but then if you do think about it you're like, oh, that's why that looks weird. um so like some of the oldest GDQ stuff has that, like gotten better face shapes, right?
The learning process. It
It's fun, I like learning.
yeah, it never ends.
Yeah, it never ends.
Uh
I'm learning new stuff all the time.
I do feel, yeah.
Occasionally check in to make sure that like looks right. The thumb ideally would be probably farther down, but like that's okay. The hands never look perfect, but they look right in the context of the rest of the piece. They match the style of the rest of it. But if you're looking at them and then you're looking at your, real flesh and blood hand, you're like, this looks weird. It doesn't look weird. It looks fine.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of needle felting, you want to make things as flat and dense as possible before you felt it. So like wrapping this around tightly and holding it. Um, because having it be loose is just giving yourself so much extra work to felt it down when you could be holding it in a position where it's already like in the correct place.
Mm.
Which is another reason why large stuff is so stressful to me, because you would have to build up those layers of density, um, or just be felting for a bazillion years to get something that is, starts out as like this texture or this texture to be dense. And so, folding it up when you're going to be making a ball, doing this and then starting it is a lot easier than like, I'm going to make a ball, okay, and then do that. It's better to do as much of the work ahead of time as possible.
Mm.
Also because then the density is consistent the whole way through.
What's the biggest like project do you think you've worked on so far?
I mean, like, most work in terms of like volume was the corporate order where I did 10 and then 20 dolls of the same thing, but like the most complicated actual figure
Yeah.
was probably Zagreus from Hades. Um
Oh.
which is the most expensive thing on my store. Nobody's ordered it yet, but it was a GDQ thing. Um and that was very difficult because I had to make a muscular character who wasn't wearing a shirt, like who you could
Yeah.
see the muscles. Um, and for that, I looked at a lot of like Bruce Timm Batman and Justice League stuff to be like, okay, how do they simplify muscles to look right? Hello, Ashy. Um, in a cartoony form, um, and like not make it look lumpy, but it was difficult. But I did. Okay, bye, Ashy. I I did make it look right in the end. And then also he had a lot of details like approximately
I
50
remember
million
that
skulls.
one.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm just like, how am I going to simplify these skulls without them looking dumb? And like, I think I worked it out, but it was tough.
Yeah. I remember that one being like, because I remember you posting about it back then, and yeah, that one was wild. Wasn't
Like
there
it ended up
like,
looking awesome, but it was just it was
yeah,
so tough to just like figure out,
I
okay,
can't,
this character looks different than other characters that I've made, and I want to do
yeah,
justice to it.
I can't remember if you did the like the half the face was like shaded out like in
I
the
had
art
the
or
one of the
not.
eyes had a black sclera, um,
Ah,
to sort of mimic that. When something has a really specific art style, I do my best to nod to it without being like beholden to it. Um,
mm-mm.
so like for example, the Lady Luck from Dicey Dungeons, like that's a very specific um style that looks kind of like retro 60s a little bit, and I mostly did that with like the mouth and the eyes, and then like it also had colored line art, so I made like the buttons on her white shirt red, um to match what the line art was, even though that's not physically what they are. um and then that like matched the red on her mouth, and like it's a good nod to it. And like Slay the Princess was in black and white, so I made everything in like shades of gray, and I luckily have quite a few different shades of gray, but I needed to like pick those out specifically to make them look right.
Um, Timeless River Sorrow was also monochrome,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was monochrome, and slightly different from things that are just like black, but deliberately
Yeah.
monochrome, using like, okay, this is going to represent this color, or like this range of colors. This gray is going to be the skin, this gray is going to be the dress, like um and also the style of Slay the Princess, and then like another commission that I did for like a children's book character. They had some very like scrungly, scratchy art styles. Um and so I tried to do that mostly in the face, um and the eyes, to make them look
Mhm.
scrungly.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's our finished hand. Um it is like fully posable. Um and I will probably sort of like felt these down a little bit more because they look a little sausagey. Um, but it kind of helps with like, okay, that goes about halfway down to the knee, which is how you know that the proportions are right. And that's why, like, I was also like, it's okay if the hands are not, if the arms are not exactly the same length, because they're going to look right once the hands are done. Um, Hands also look kind of big. Like, I also made these kind of big, but like, it's really hard to make things small, which is also why I don't do articulated hands on the small figures. They're just like mitten hands.
Hmm.
Like far easier. Making stuff at a small scale that's this intricate is very down in this.
Yeah.
The way I make it, it tends to make the wrists kind of fat, but like, fine.
I mean, if it keeps the wrists together.
It's like, I just kind of, my style tends to be a little bit chonkier, um, but it also does make it cool.
Yeah. Like, hey, if you guys want a real quick credit to Mouse's work, I have owned one of their figures for multiple years and have never had any issues with it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
they're sturdy.
they're sturdy. And mine is also one that has like a weird like secondary thing that they had to figure out.
It was cool. I really liked figuring it out. So Laz has a Skull Kid
Yeah.
from Majora's Mask. Um and I was like, okay. First of all, I didn't have the pre-filled at that time. So I needed to figure out how to do the sort of like tattered clothes. And I did figure out a way to do that with just the felt that I had. Although these days I would do it with pre-felt, so it would be here. And that's the like flat felt sheets. Um, but the more interesting conundrum was how to do the mask. Um, and I decided to do it out of clay because doing that much detail with felt would be very difficult, and like making the mask have the right, like, it would probably just look kind of lumpy if I did it that way. It would be really difficult to not have it be lumpy. Um,
Mm.
so I did make it with clay, which is heavier. And I usually do props with clay. Um, it's like a oven bake polymer clay thing that I have. Um, and there this is very light and clay is very heavy. Um, so that matters. Um, and that means that I often have to, like, when I have props, the I will have like a wire coming out of them that goes like this far into the arm so that they're holding it okay. Um, for the mask, I decided not to do a face. And I, when making the mask, had an armature in it and then put the clay around it where it had two kind of prongs sticking out and then stuck them into the face so that it's on there real good. Um, and painted it and everything beforehand. Um, and put a lot of effort into making sure it looked right. I did simplify a few little things just because of the small scale, but it looks right. Um, and then it kind of worked out that it sort of dragged the head down a little bit, which would be bad except for Skull Kid because that's how Skull Kid poses. It's
Yeah.
like his head is kind of pulled forward by the mask. And I was like, this is a really cool unintended kind of bonus to it, because it makes him look more unhinged and more like the real character because his head is being pulled forward.
I have him like right behind my monitor, like he peeks out like just
He's
so.
looking.
He's looking. Like he's just like right next to it, but like barely like it just kind of ended up where he just ended up like at the side of like hold on, let me send a picture of exactly what this setup looks like because it is very silly. It's hold on, it's 2 p.m. I thought it was so much later because
uh,
it's so dark in here, but it's like no, it's just that I have fucking blackout curtains that I
yeah.
forgot to fucking open.
Like, it must be really late at night. It's like, no, I started at 2:30 p.m. my time, so yeah.
Man, it must be really fucking late, huh?
Um,
Okay.
the sun hasn't even set for me.
Boop. And then I will copy a link. Open the link. Yes.
Another thing that we're going to get to more when we get to the close is yeah. Look. Um
Look, it's me.
me. Um
I hold the Miakarina. He stole that.
he stole it.
He stole that.
Actually, where do you go? Where are
Don't
you
be
going?
fooled, everybody. He stole that.
That's in the that's in the copy on my store, is that it's like he has an ocarina that he definitely stole.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, I did not put a wire coming out of that one, so it was just glued into his hand, which I don't do anymore because when it on the very first GDQ appearance, I had a tunic, like the little tunic fox, and him sword fell out of him hand on camera, and I was so fucking embarrassed. And nobody else cared, but I cared, and so I never ever again just glued it into their hands. I'm like, no, it has to be on there real good.
Yeah, I will say, uh, his ocarina has
Because you've said
his
it has fallen out
ocarina
of his hand.
it only fell out of his hand twice, and it was once after a hurricane and once after I got off the train. So both times it was easily put back by super glue and has not fallen since, but it's like
But yeah,
it
that's why I have much better structure in there now.
yeah.
And like, I hope that the person who got the original Sybil Suitor Regalia doll, I hope that the thing doesn't fall out of her hand, because that thing is heavy. It's like a weird
Mm.
long sort of tonfa thing. Um and she like holds it by like the side of the hilt. It's very strange. Um Man, I hope that that thing's stuck in there, because it was just held in there by super glue in a dream.
I should clarify. The hurricane did not like break open a window or anything. It just like shook the building and the figure fell off of my computer.
Ah, cute and weirdly menacing. Just like Laz. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. Just kidding, unless you find that flattering. In which case, not just kidding.
Honestly, kind of do. Kind of do. Kind of do find it a bit flattering. Thank you.
Thank you, I am menacing, actually, Smile.
Yeah.
Also, I love bending the fingers horribly out of shape like this to be like, yeah, I need to get to this finger. It's like, no, I promise you're fine. It's really only the expectation of what a human bone structure is like that you don't just bend these things, like that, because they sure can. It's just wire, but like, um, you can sort of make them any kind of bendy you want. I once got a review that like I've only gotten good reviews on my Etsy store, which is wonderful. Um, but one of the reviews was like the posing is a little stiff. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's handmade. It's not
What
like
do
a
you
machine.
expect, bestie?
It's not like a machine manufactured vinyl figure. I can't. I'm sorry. Um, it is just a wire armature. Okay. So another thing I was gonna say and then forgot, is that you want to make sure that in the full range of motion that these things are covered. So this, there's a little white spot there that's not covered, so I need to make sure that it is. And I'll do that a lot for like joints, armpits, things like that, where it's like, okay, this and like neck creases. Um, when I move this in the whole range of motion that it can go, is it covered all the way? Or is there a space of unfilled in hole? I feel looks unprofessional. I make sure it's covered as if it looks good in only one pose, then it shouldn't be posable. You know?
Mm. Yeah.
You do kind of need to figure out how to hold and pull the wool. Um, because it does come apart easily if you do it correctly. Otherwise, it feels like, huh, this isn't coming apart. Um, particularly when it's like this. Um, if you just do like that, like it's not gonna come apart unless you like really yank it like that. Um, you kind of want to like grab it hard here and then kind of like pull with your other hand so that it like gently comes apart. Um, and that's some of that like just pulling like a few things at once rather than like yanking the whole thing. Something that you get used to, particularly if you do a lot of wet felting, because you have to pull them out in tufts like that and make like a whole bunch and then crisscross them and then sit there for a million hours going like this with a rolling pin and going, oh my god, why won't you felt already? I fucking hate wet felting so much. Some people are like, it's relaxing. I'm like, it's like repetitive. I don't know. I
It's
like felting because
boring.
it's like not repetitive. It's bored. How can you sit there for hours and do this? I'm like, because I'm doing something different every like minute.
Just look at this. You get to stab.
Yes. People are like, take out your anger on it. I'm like, I don't have anger. Shut up.
What's what is with people in the anger?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I put so much emphasis on the stabbing part. Makes it seem more violent than it really is.
Do they not care about the art of the stab?
They do.
Is
These are
there
just
no
like
love?
these are just like
Is
random
there no
offhanded
love of
comments
the
I get.
game?
These are just offhanded comments I get of people teasing me of being like, "Oh, do you take out your anger on it?" I'm like, "No."
Damn.
Me with my
This
angel halo. I have never been angry in my life. I am simply the sweetest person who has never gotten
yeah.
angry.
You don't stab out of anger. You stab out of love of the stabbing
I
craft.
do. I stab things to life, not to death. I didn't make that up, unfortunately, but like, yeah, stab it to life is like a thing that needle felchers say sometimes.
That's actually awesome.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that.
I haven't been there in a while, but there's a Discord for needle felters. It's like nominally connected to the needle felting subreddit, which I also don't go to anymore because I don't go to Reddit anymore. Um, but
Hmm.
it's a lot of people like it's so funny because if you don't know, like knitting particularly and crochet somewhat have so much fucking drama in their communities. People stealing designs, people ripping each other off, just all this shit. And it's like this is exhausting. And
I have heard a little bit about that, yeah.
it's because it's a bunch of old ladies and young queer people. And like those groups love some gossip and some drama. And
All the love to old ladies and young queer people.
yeah, it's like the perfect trifecta, not trifecta, it's like the perfect microcosm of like gossipy bitches. Um, and like getting upset about having your designs taken or something. Like knitting and crocheting, just like really basic stuff. Um, like this basic sweater that I made or this basic vest, you took it and it's not, no, I'm selling it. Shut up. It's like I think it was just an independent creation where both of you thought up the same thing. Um, but no, they're like entire drama YouTube channels about um like crafting, like fiber arts drama, and I just can't. Like I unsubscribed from the one that I had subscribed to out of kind of, looking at a train wreck. Just like I fucking can't. These people are
That's
ridiculous.
so fair.
And then the needle felters, because there's so few of us, um, we're just like, oh, neat, that looks great. Could you tell me the technique that you used? What are you making next? Like everybody's just kind of quietly making their little things. Um, because
That's
there's like
awesome.
nothing to steal and nothing to be bitchy about.
Yeah. I know there's like plushie makers as
Hmm.
well. I don't know what's going on over there, but
Yeah, they can also be kind of bitchy. Like, and there are a lot of like really big conventions for knitting and crocheting, and
mm,
that kind of gets into like somebody was a dick at a convention, somebody like screwed somebody over. It's just like, ugh,
yeah.
odd. So
Why is it
glad that I don't
always
give a
why is
shit.
it always conventions? Why are people always weird at conventions?
Because people who don't go outside a lot, uh, don't have amazing social skills sometimes, and when they get to be around people that they know and have emotions about and they see them in person, they're gonna be weird about it. That's why.
Uh, no, that's a
um
good point.
no, that's why. Same with tattoo conventions, same with anime conventions. Like it's
Mm.
people who don't meet up in big groups like that a lot, and then they do, and then they're like, I don't know how to act like a person. That may sound harsh, but that is the reason.
No, I gotcha.
I know, Mr. Sir. How do you feel?
Hey, look, sometimes you have to learn um
Sometimes you have to learn social
basic
skills the hard way, and I get
to
it.
learn. Yeah. I've been I have been both the weirdo and the weird e.
Yeah, yeah. And people, it can have to do with autism, it can have to do with a lot of things, but just sort of in
Yeah.
general,
It is just
um,
kind of a you still have to like learn how to not make people uncomfortable.
we all have to learn how to exist. And conventions are also sort of a weird liminal space where like nothing's normal.
Yeah.
So, all about this now. Look right. What if we put our hands up in the air sometimes? How do we feel then?
Saying Ao?
Why does it look wrong when the hands are up, but it looks fine when the hands are down? I think it's because this shoulder... I don't know. But nobody's gonna do that. And also, this is just for me, so it's fine. It looks fine when the hands are down, and nobody's gonna make this particular figure put their hands up in the air sometime. But yeah, that's probably about how far I'll go with that. We will... I think this looks good. Kind of more bottom heavy.
This is gonna look...
Alright.
This is gonna look fucking crazy when I'm done, but I need to figure out the fuck I am going to... I need to find a new brush.
Another thing to do if you're making figures is to like stand them up. To be like, are they standing straight up? And then you can often just sort of like adjust the armature underneath it a little bit, right? Yes. Dip in the back, that looks good. That looks good. I'm proud of how this is turning out, I think.
Yeah.
Wish the arms were a little better, but like it's so unnoticeable to like anybody but me that nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, the arms look good.
In the meantime, probably Monday, I believe. My stream schedule tentatively is Monday and Wednesday about 4 to 7 Eastern, and then Saturday about 2 to 5 Eastern. And okay, this worked out because I started at about 2:30 and then ended at about 5:30. While they're waiting for the rest of their body to exist, I'm gonna put them on top of the thing like this, out my little bin, everything up like that. All right, did a good job. Thank you so much for coming, Laz, and feel free to come by anytime you want. Thank you so much, people, for watching. Thank you so much, Sploot, for being here, and other people for being here. And I hope you all have a good day.
I sent you... I removed the background, but I sent you, and do you mind if I send to stream what I've been working on?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Thank you. Not finished, but like this is the beginnings of me trying to like get into some form of digital painting with Haster.
Oh, it looks great.
Thank you.
Okay. I will see you all on Monday then. Bye-bye. Wait, I should raid somebody and not just stop streaming. I should raid somebody.
Oh,
that's a thing that you do, right?
Yeah. Weeb and Servina are doing their fight.
Ah, okay. Let's raid Weeb.
Uncivil War.
Uncivil War. Okay. Raid. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Mouse.